Oh, hello wild ones. It is a beautiful, gloomy January afternoon. I'm out at this lake here, surrounded by majestic cliffs. It's the first mountain night out with the X-Dome. Let's go find somewhere to pitch. This is how to wreck your lightweight hiking tent in 5 easy steps. Step 1. Head out to the British mountains. This was actually expected to be a standard mountain camp, but in true British fashion, the weather is about to turn. Look how beautiful this clear water is. A lovely dark turquoise, and then the greys of the rocks above. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the tent down here. It's gonna get dark soon. That's pretty nice views, isn't it? Step 2. Unwittingly choose the worst spot possible. So before I get to work letting this tent get tortured, I just want to state for the record that I think this is a fantastic tent. It has innovative features and has performed perfectly in typical, barely sheltered wind and rain outside of the mountains. But it's just not suitable for what's coming. Step 3. Be complacent about the weather. Here's the weather forecast for this day. This is a pretty standard mountain weather forecast for Emery. There are no storms forecast and no weather warnings. I'm at around 340 metres elevation and I've wrongly assumed that I'm going to remain sheltered here. Step 4. Take marketing terminology seriously. So you can see that on the Durston website, here at the time of filming this video, it says that with almost no skill, this tent can be used in winds of up to 50 kilometres per hour or up to 70 kilometres per hour with skilled use of stakes and guy lines. So it should be okay in this, but the problem I'm going to have is getting it up in the first place. However, while I'm not usually a fan of lightweight pole tents because they break so easily in wind, I bought this particular tent because it wasn't just light, but it was described as being stormworthy, having unprecedented stormworthiness and strength. So, worth a shot, right? I don't know what's going on. The wind's just got up really crazy. I don't feel like this is going to go very well. There isn't anywhere more sheltered because this is kind of the only flat bit. I just feel like these poles are going to snap. Step 5. Carry on regardless because you're stubborn as hell. Of course, if you're not a lunatic and you find yourself out for a camp and the weather turns to an extent that you don't feel like your shelter can handle it and you're within bailing distance of your car, just bail. Protect yourself and protect your tent. Problems arise though when you're not within bailing distance of your car, so say you're in the middle of a long distance hike, it's getting dark soon and you need to get your shelter up. Just for research purposes, let's see how that might play out. Get this in to support the crosser.
it's good that this happens really, because it shows me what the tent's suitable for and what it's not suitable for. And it's so weird because it wasn't like that when I got to the lake. It was a little bit breezy, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then it's like the wind must have changed direction and just started flowing over and down that cliff straight onto the lake and me. Really mad how it does that. You can be sort of fine 1 minute and then boom, because it's changed direction. And that's another reason I don't like using pole tents, except my hilly, in the UK really, because you can pitch on a breezy day thinking, oh yeah, this is fine, even in a sheltered spot, and then it just changes direction. Quite often at sunset the wind changes direction, which may have been the case today, so you just never know.
Oh hello World Buns, coming to you from the World Bear News Desk to bring you current developments. So since being home, I've had a chance to properly look at the footage that you guys have just seen, and I see the tent poles coming apart like that, and that would have been a major contributing factor to the crossbar breaking, I think. I was also sticking the spike of my trekking pole into the vestibule door tie-out bit, but speaking to Dan Durston since, apparently you don't have to put it in there, you can put it at any angle that best supports the tent from the oncoming wind. So I think it could have done with coming over to the side a little bit. Of course, I was still putting the tent up when it broke, so there's a good chance that had those winds come in after I had my tent up, it would have fared better. All Durston X-Dome customers from the first batch will have got an email saying that there's an issue with a small amount of the tent poles. About 1% I think have got an issue with the glue, whereby the aluminium inserts aren't stuck properly. Mine don't seem to have this issue, my inserts don't seem to move, so that wasn't a contributing factor in this case. I have been chatting with Dan about the tent, and he's let me know of an interesting feature that apparently you can put it up just with your trekking poles if the tent poles snap. I don't think there's an instructional video for that yet, but I would really like to see it because I want to give that a try, particularly in wind, because of course if your tent poles have snapped, you're going to be dealing with a fair amount of wind. I can kind of see how you could turn the tent into like a makeshift trekking pole tent, so that's quite cool. I believe the term unprecedented stormworthiness has been replaced on the website with improved strength for an ultralight tent. The big headline of stormworthy is still on there though in big letters. I do think that while we don't get the big tornadoes and hurricanes over here, our weather is generally ropey out on a day-to-day basis, so maybe stormworthy means different things here as it does over the pond. I'll stick a few examples of how a storm can be defined in both the UK and the US on the screen. Apparently stormworthy is one of those terms that's thrown around a little bit willy-nilly with regard to camping gear, but for me, stormworthy should mean that if I find myself out in stormy weather, my shelter will likely survive it and I can put my shelter up in that weather as well. Crazy weather camping aside, the X-Dome has performed really well in sort of standard, fairly sheltered bad weather. Check out this video for that and some specs and features. I think it'll be a great tent for 3-season trails in the US, fair weather camping, but I just don't think it's particularly well suited for our crazy UK mountain weather. As with all lightweight pole tents, I just feel that the risk of a break is too great if you're out in the middle of nowhere. I'd like to thank Dan Durston for his time and patience, and as always, never put all of your trust into any shelter. No tent is 100% stormworthy, particularly lightweight ones, but even the heavy, hardcore expedition tents do break occasionally. Always use a bivvy bag over your sleeping bag because it's what could keep you alive if things go really wonky. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!